And welcome back to goldstocktrades.com. Today we have with us Corrado DeGasperis. Corrado is president and CEO of Comstock Mining. Comstock Mining can be traded as Lode, Lode, on the New York Stock Exchange. Thanks, Corrado, for being back here with us today.
Thanks, Jeff, for having me.
Corrado, we're going through a tough time in the junior mining sector and precious metals. What insights do you have into the Comstock story that can differentiate it from so many of the other junior mining companies that are out there?
I think that there's three critical factors, and without a doubt, given today's economy and volatility in the industry, that being in production and generating positive cash flow has to be the absolute number one differentiator. And producing, being in production, having the mineral resource that is so economically viable, and having management that's capable of sustaining the kind of operation.
Corrado, let's talk about the production. You came into production in end of 2012. Talk to us about the next phase of growth.
For sure, we just recently in production, as you say, fourth quarter of 2012. We've really been in a ramp-up phase to a target level of about 20,000 gold equivalent ounces per year. That's really just the starting point for us. It's critically important that we're getting there now. We're very confident and excited about being at those levels, and that really enables us to look forward. And from our perspective, operating at 20,000 ounces, moving to 30,000 ounces is really just the foundational first step. It's critical, as we just said, to be cash positive and to be sustaining that. But we're already planning for an expansion of our first mine. In fact, the Lucerne infrastructure was built to accommodate 4 times the capacity of how we're operating today. So the growth of cash flow is just exceptional to go from, let's say, 20,000 ounce operation to a 80,000 ounce operation. And we're doing the engineering and environmental studies now for that real expansion. And in some ways, that's an acceleration for us to be on that now. And secondly, we already have an economic resource in the Dayton, which is our second mine. And so we're going to commence the permitting activities for the Dayton as well. So the concept of going from one mine starting at 20,000 ounces as extremely positive, but growing to 2 mines that together could be doing more than 150,000-160,000 ounces per year.
Let's talk about the recent technical 43-101 report that was published recently. And in the report, we noticed a discovery called the Chute Zone. Can you talk to us a little bit about this discovery and what potential there is for exploration in the Comstock Mining District?
Yeah, really, Jeb, it's probably one of the most exciting, if not absolutely the most exciting aspect of the company. In the first quarter, as you said, we issued our fourth full 43-101 technical report on our resource. And in addition to continuing the trend of hitting on literally every hole, stepping out from the mine area, and in particular on the east side of the Lucerne, where we reported 22 new drill holes hitting good grades and on all of them, but also in interpreting those results, the formulation of a thick, a long, thick vein of high grades that we're calling the Chute Zone, literally, an up to 150 by 450 section wherein the grades and the gold veining is comparable, actually a bit larger than the historic Woodville Bonanza on the Comstock, meaning that we're starting to formulate concentrations of minerals and grades that portend to a much, much, much higher resource. And when you consider that we've already validated about 2.7 million ounces of gold in this technical report and almost 27 million ounces of silver, yet we're just scratching the surface on the east side. We've only drilled 60 holes in a vast area, and at the Dayton we drilled 64. In the Spring Valley we've drilled 14. These are 3 of our 7 target areas along a 6-mile contiguous strike. So maybe thought of another way, we've drilled on less than 10% of our surface holding. We've drilled on a tiny fraction of a percent when you consider depth, and yet the rate of discovery is just exceptional. So the Chute Zone, it's one of many high-grade concentrations that we've already delineated, but its nature and its comparability to the Woodville Bonanza just brings it to a whole nother level of potential and excitement. And so that the technical report is not only identifying, segments of mineralization, it's also clarifying how we're connecting the dots, throughout the whole district. So, from my perspective, I literally feel, like we're just scratching the surface in terms of discovery. Obviously, the immediate focus right now has been, the great progress on production ramp up and sustainability of operations. But thank you for asking, because certainly, the foundation of the Comstock is the robust, reliable geology that we've had the honor of developing here.
Corrado, to conclude, investors are concerned today about the financial environment in the sector. How does Comstock, with regards to raising capital, differentiate itself from the other miners? I noticed that you raised some funds in the end of 2012.
Yeah, I think first and foremost, right, the fact that we validated the grades that we're mining, and in fact we have an improving grade profile rather than a diluting or diminishing grade profile. So we're starting with good and it gets better. The fact that we validated the yields and the metallurgy, coming from extensive testing in advance of going into production, but validating it in production gives incredibly high risk reduction. The operation works and is working effectively. The demonstration, of partnership with the regulators in Nevada, from my perspective, and I had a breakfast with the governor on Tuesday morning. I have not seen a man, more committed and more supportive of a positive business environment, and that's not just low taxes, and strong support, but also a very, very supportive regulatory environment. So the relationship with the state and the Nevada Department of Environmental Protection, which is our largest permitter, the relationship with the BLM, breaking through to literally be a public-private partnership for advancing the productive use of these lands. But then I think ultimately, having all those variables in place, it also manifests itself into a low-cost production environment. And so people don't want to invest in anything with high risk. They don't want to invest in potential fatal flaws. So we validated the model. That's foundational. And, we have real cash growth. We have real execution capability. And so I believe that, we're just getting started in the attraction of new investors, yet we have a rock solid and highest quality capital base. So the existing investors, the existing base, it couldn't be stronger at this juncture of our evolution, yet it's similar to our exploration. It feels like we're just getting started. So I think that we have differentiated ourselves. I think that as we announce getting to the production levels that we said here, in the next few weeks, as we announce the fact that, by middle of this year, we'll have one of the strongest balance sheets in the industry. So I guess it always comes down to, if you have great minerals, if you have great management, and you have money, you're capitalized to grow. You're capitalized to deliver that cash flow today. That's what investors are looking for, and that's what we're hearing from them in the market. And for us, the volatility of the gold price, we have a low-cost, profitable operation. If the gold price drops, for us, it does impact profitability. Every $100 that the gold price drops could cost us $2 million in a year, and but our profit scheme is tens of millions, not $1 million or $2 million. So it does affect our profitability, but it does not affect not only our success, but it doesn't even at this juncture even affect the rate at which we're investing for growth. So we're just well positioned to capitalize now, and we don't see anything in the market that has any intermediate or long-term concern to it. Yeah, obviously, nobody likes to see the gold price go down in the short term or immediate term, but we just don't see anything fundamental that's changed this thesis. In fact, when pushed to talk about it, the monetary policies of most all of the Western governments could only and are only supporting long-term strength in the gold price.
Well, Corrado, thanks for being back here with us today.
Jeb, it was always a pleasure, and thank you very much for the interest.